Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are rocking out in our game here. We're just continuing on. We've added player housing. Okay, I'll just show you the plots. What I did, well, I just painted the grass, right? So it looks like, oh, there's a chair there or something like that. Probably in the base plate. Anyways, so yeah, the house is here, I think, and the garage is here. House is there, the garage is here. So I was thinking, okay, so now we have that. So now the player is able to get money. Then the player is able to get a home, like a base or whatever. So I thought, you know, how can we want to keep the player engaged in our game. So what is something else that we can do? Well, I thought, you know what, let's give the player the ability to purchase property. Now, I'm not too sure what property, probably just some of these residential properties, right? So you can purchase maybe like 2 or 3 of them at the most. So then I thought, okay, so if we give the player the ability to spend money in the game, which will give them, what kind of rewards are they going to get for spending their money? So this is where we can expand on the buying side of the game, right? Where we have I think this is boxes that I'm using. So we have our buying code. And right now, it gives us our cash reward. So what I've done is I increased the reward, but I didn't tell it to give you. So I'm saying, okay, let's give you double the cash. So what's going to happen is when you purchase the building, let's just run through it. So there will be a prompt. You'll drive by a building and you can get out and walk around, and then there will be a prompt somewhere that you can activate. And basically this delivery zone will appear in front of the building, and there's a timer on the delivery zone. So you have the building for as long as the timer, and that's it. So you purchase it. There you go. Right, I have a short timer set up. It starts going. You activate the zone. This is where you drop your cargo off. Now, as you can see, when the timer expires, it resets itself, and then you have to come back here and purchase the building again. So I thought that element was kind of cool, because now it's like, okay, so now I have this building. Well, what are the perks for getting the building? Well, this is where we have to say, okay, so we need to deliver a special type of cargo, which I have over here. And then once we deliver that special type of cargo, it's going to give us a reward. It's going to give us cash. And I thought now's a great way to introduce experience to the game. So you have your base game, where you can collect your base resources, the logs and the fish, and you can buy the basic pallets and you can sell them. That's the cash part of the game. Now we get into the experience part of the game. It's like another tier of the game where you're going to offer rewards based on the experience level, not based on how much money the player has. So it's just another way to add an additional element to the game. So to do that, what we need to do is where it says right here, leader stats.cash.value. We just need to copy this one here in our code. Except instead of cash, it's going to be XP. Now we're going to check our leader stats script and to see what we named the experience at. Where are we here? Player added XP, capital X, capital P. Very important. XP.value. Whoops. Quick open? No. Interesting. Okay. Players value. Yeah, now instead of giving me 2,000 experience, we'll make it like 200 experience. And that's how you'll be able to get experience. And then what will you be able to buy? I don't know. But you can just introduce player. It's another way of introducing player items, because we're talking about introducing like a flashlight and maybe a vest and some other things. So maybe in some games, yeah, you can just say, okay, spend Robux and you can have these items, which will probably be a feature as well eventually. But you want people to stay in the game. So if they have to earn two things, cash and experience, in order to get those rewards, I don't know. You're offering everybody the chance to get the rewards, not just pay to win. So I mean, depending on how your game is, it's entirely up to you. If that's what you want your game to be, that's fine. There's a lot of them, and they're very successful. Everybody deserves to get, earn for the work that they do. For me, I just, I'm still learning the metrics of it. So I want everybody to have a chance to be able to play through, get an idea, and all that sort of stuff. So in this case, yeah. So maybe you'll need like 200 experience to get a flashlight, or 400 experience to get a vest. So that means you have to earn the cash by playing the base missions. Then you have to find a way to buy property so you can get the experience, right? It just gives the player more additional than just the A to B, A to B, A to B. I mean, let's be honest, that goes for a while, but then it gets stale, right? And it's like, okay, well, what's next? What else can we offer the player? So this is sort of like just a different angle on that. So yeah, so we come over here, let's say this is a building, right? So we'll purchase it. I forgot to do was change it doesn't matter. It doesn't take any money, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we have the building. Now we need to go to a depot. There's going to be a separate depot set up, which is going to spawn the special items that we need. So we got to activate our truck. Now it's got the crane on it. So something like this, it'll spawn. Actually, I should go back a little bit here. Like that, And then this comes down, hits the blue part, all right. Or you can move the arm up. This is exactly the same as the big ones. I just made it smaller. And then what I'll do is eventually I'll find a mesh to put over top of this part. So it looks like, wow, a real fancy crane. But not, you know what I mean? But not really. It's just a mesh. That's Hollywood magic. Okay, so it's got these hooks on it. I'm trying to click on the hook. There we go. That's for there. So then you click on here. So depending on the building type, it's going to need a different type of cargo, right? If it's a commercial building, it makes sense that it's going to need boxes. If it's a residential building, maybe it needs something else, furniture or something like that. Just something else to offer the player something else. That's all this is. Something else. So then you click on it, it goes smaller. When you stop clicking on it, oh, does it go? Okay. It just goes in or out, that's it. Interesting. So then you'll have to bring this down. Oh, I see. Then it has like a minimum length on it. Well, that's not too bad. Okay, so then we can go crane right. Let's see, up a little bit here. Yeah, you can have fun with this. Up a little bit more. There we go. Now that's tied in, and then we have one on the front. We can do that, and then we can make that. So that way the cargo doesn't fall off the back. We don't have to weld it. We don't need a button. It's a challenge. That's part of the challenge. This is the cargo, and this is how you have to get it to where it needs to go. Okay, so then we can close that. I'll have to make this something else. It'll have to disappear. Yeah, and then basically we'll come over here and park. And then let's say we purchase the building again. Hopefully I can back in time. Oh, did it not reset? Uh-oh. The activate button isn't back. It should, the activate button should be there. I don't even know why I'm using it, but yeah, it didn't come back. Uh oh. I gotta do that all over again. Again. Yeah, so you get the idea. And I made the zone bigger because I know the truck is smaller, the buy zone. So that way you just drive into the buy zone. This will be kind of probably a shed, and then you just back in there, and then that way you'll get the reward. But I need to figure out why the oh, that's probably why. Where are we here? .frame.activate needs to turn on. .frame, so we need to go script, .parent, .screen, .surface GUI, .frame, .activate, .visible equals true. Alright, that should solve that. Save it, test it. So what I want to do eventually is I'm going to be introducing helicopters, as you saw, and they'll be able to pick up, that'll be like the ultimate vehicle, right? It makes sense. It's the ultimate vehicle. It's a little slow. I'll try and tweak it a little bit. And to get that, you're going to need to be a certain level, you're going to need a certain amount of experience, and you're going to need a certain amount of money. So where we go from here, what determines, so as I was saying, I want to make 2 classes to this buying buildings system. So anybody with any money can buy a commercial building, which is just any one of these commercial buildings, and then they have a base amount of resources that you have to give to them. But then you're going to need to level up in order to get the bigger buildings, right? And that's just sort of how you I don't know. You need to introduce a challenge for the players, because when we think about, like, for example, most police roleplay games, okay, it's cops and robbers, right? So you're chasing after other people. Other people are unpredictable, and that's what gives the players the excitement and why they keep playing those games, because every playthrough is unique. So with vehicle games, it's kind of not really that way. You know, like the bus games, once you set up the route, that's the route. It doesn't really change. So it's hard to, you have to start thinking broader than that in trying to keep people in the game. What else can you give players the ability to do that's going to keep them there that isn't, you know what I mean? It's just outside the box. So that's what we're trying to do here with this. This is just another element. So if you don't want to do the base stuff, you have enough experience, you can just jump into the game. You can purchase a building, like one of these big ones over here if you're a certain level, and it just starts making money and experience. And you can just sit here, you can go and buy a house. There will be cars, and like there's going to be other vehicles that'll add perks to the level system. But I just want to just kind of, the whole reason why I'm going through this is just to show, get just a way to get away from the A to B, you know. And I mean, that's transportation games. It's A to B. Pick someone up, drop them off. But when you introduce other elements like this, hopefully you bring other players in who maybe aren't really, they don't really care for the A to B, but they like the other side of it, right? So there it is, good. Now the activate button is back. Okay, perfect. So now I got to get this container all over again, get it loaded up. All right. Just challenges. It's challenges. That's why we play video games, just to take our mind off things and to have fun and try and be challenged. So something like this it's a challenge. You need these special resources that you'll only be able to pick up. I'm not too sure where you'll be able to pick them up yet, but there will be one hub maybe on the map, or 2 hubs perhaps. Maybe 3, one on this side, one over there, and then one on that side of the map probably. And these are the resources you need for the buildings. You're not going to be able to use the other resources. You hear me clicking on it, but it's not clicking. Oh, that's easy. Okay, that's good. Spun it around. Let's see. I'll just go this way. I made the boxes so they don't collide, hoping that that's going to help with the camera skipping out there. If it skips out, it's catching on the pallet, but it won't catch on the boxes anymore because you can't collide with them. I should have looked at the collision groups, and maybe I can make a collision group for the camera. I don't know how that works. I'm just trying to click on this. Oh, come on. There we go. There, so that'll pull that forwards, and then as it pulls that forwards, we'll have to come down with the cargo. There we go. Just like that. And then we can bring the crane. We can release the crate. Maybe not. Maybe I should leave it connected to the crane. Oh, I have to close it and... Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's better to just leave it connected to the crane. Okay, so then we can drive away. See, and then inside the vehicle, there's also the speed in that. That's cool. So you drive away. I'll get rid of this. It's awful and in the way. You don't know. Like, I put it in the game and I thought, oh, that'd be great. And then now I realize, no, it's actually not the greatest. So you activate it. Hopefully I can drive there before the timer expires. There we go. Look at that. And then that block disappears. So, yeah, and then it resets. That's that. So I wasn't sure if, like, I wanted 2 timers. Maybe 1 timer that allows you to own the building, and then maybe another timer that just has missions that come up while you have the building. You could do that also. And that I'm just using this fuel amount here, right? I'm setting it to 20, but it should be 1,000, which is a fairly reasonable timer. And then when they turn it on, it should be 1,000, like that. So then what you can do is while it's counting down, because it's this that matters. So when it takes the boxes in, what I'll have to do is I'll have to get rid of all the rest of these scripts here. And then when we turn it on, no, it's not that script, it's activate. Oh, I don't even have the hay activated on that one? Uh-oh. I better check. I better check these out just to make sure. Look, I don't even have hay on there. Look at that. How come we can't sell our hay? Log go away. Got hay. Not enabled equals true. False. Okay, well, I guess I have to go through every one of these now. That's that script. Okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, we'll close those for now. Let me just fix this. You see that sometimes you just go through it and you find errors in the code, and you got to go through your code. You think you got it all. Oh, you know what? I bet you. Let me double check here. We'll have to see. I'll have to. I'm hoping that I can just replace that. I don't think much changed on that end. I don't think much changed. This is just when you press the activate button. It makes the scripts go enabled, and then it makes the scripts turn off. It does seem different though. It does seem different. Yeah, whatever. The only thing I changed was the button. I changed the button over to a prompt. Yeah, that's all. Alright, so we'll do that. This is this one here. This will be special freight. And then, yeah, there we go. So we have the XP. Going back to this whole thing, we have the XP value in there. So what we want to do now is we want to go back to our player added, and we want to grab the data check for the experience, and then we want to add that here under right here, and then we need to say set async, and we want to say this right here. But instead of cash chance, we want to say XP or whatever your right, and then we need the value. Remember, we need, this is where we want to save the value to, and then we need to say, okay, what is the value? And that will be it's right here. That's the value there. So then if success, we'll say data v equals, and then exp is oh, I need a local for that. There we go. So when I go back into the game, you'll see that it didn't save. We'll save this. I'll restart this. And I'll have to do all that one more time in order for it to save. And then we'll say, yeah, it'll say leaderboard XP saved. Just like that. All right. Yeah, because I mean, so we could do like different tiers of cargo, where you need different experience and then levels to pull different types of cargo. But I just don't think that's rewarding enough for the player to want to keep them in the game long term. I mean, man, I'm sure there's a lot of players that is enough for them, but I think the players really they want more. We want to give them as much as we can, right? So, oh, I gotta drag this all the way over here now. So something like this offers a unique game-enhancing gameplay. One of these is the winch, crane up and down, and the other one is the, which I never changed. Alright, so we'll do that. I'll just drive over here. This is all I need. I mean, why not, right? If it works, right? Just watching me exploit my own game. Alright, so we'll turn this on. We'll activate it. Yeah, so there we go. So now it's got the, as you saw, it didn't save the leaderboard. It saved the cache, though, but it didn't save the experience. It's the experience that we want. So then... where's the driver's seat? There's a seat in the middle. I didn't realize there's 3 seats in this. Is there 4 seats in there? There we go. Alright, so we drive in there, cool. So I got, oh yeah, different part. 200 experience now for that transaction. So that's cool. So now either this stays for the whole time, you know, and then that way you can do it. That's probably reasonable, actually. It'll stay for the timer, and then you can do like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 loads. You know, just get as many rewards as you can. I think that's better for the player, especially with what you're... That's for the gameplay. That's the type of game it is. So that's, I'm satisfied with that. So yeah, so that's just kind of a way of adding just another element. So now what we need to do is I need to choose a building. And then I need to make a way for the player to... They have to buy the building. So I was thinking, for example, let's say it was like, could be one of these buildings here. It could even be the bus station. I don't know. That's something I'll look at. So then we just need this station. You know, it could be here, right? You're driving around, you're looking for stuff. You come up to the button, it says purchase building. You purchase the building, that appears. Hey, it needs resources. And then, of course, it'll in the interface, it'll have a window which tells you the resources that you need to purchase and how to make the deliveries and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of that. That's sort of another way. That's another mission that we introduce into the game, and then you can expand that into buildings like this, where maybe you have to drop supplies off beside it. These kinds of buildings, though, are going to be... They'll produce money and experience without having to bring supplies. And then that way, like I say, that way there's a goal. You're grinding, and there is a goal to where you don't have to grind anymore. You have enough money, you have enough experience, you have enough levels. Now you can join the game, you buy the buildings, and they make the money and the experience and the levels for you. That's sort of where we want to go with that, right? And that's when you introduce the better cars and the helicopters and all that sort of stuff for people to buy once they've successfully made it out of the grind, right? They're into the next tier of gameplay. So keeping that idea in mind, as I'm saying, if you're making, let's say, a fantasy type game, that's something you want to consider when it comes to giving out rewards, level rewards, between levels 0 and 10. Here's your rewards between 10 and 20. Here's your rewards, and so on and so forth. Maybe there's certain NPCs that you can only interact with that are a certain level. What I've just shown here, this little quest, is a great way to enhance your game. You're adding additional things for players to do, and you're giving them different rewards. So there's incentive to try new things in the game, because now you're saying, hey, if you try this, you're going to get something different and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so I'm just throwing that out there. Thank you so much for watching. That's going to do it. This is just a quick, let's buy a building tutorial. Yeah, another mission. That'll do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.